Hello there, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, and welcome back to the Talos Principle. And today we're going to be covering what is arguably one of the more difficult worlds of this place. It is World C5. It has 3 stars in the world, and those are all pretty fun stars to get. You'll see why.
You, my friend, have the potential to do great things. I mean that. We've already established that every human on the planet is pretty much the same. Temporary blinks of insecurity, scratching out their meager existence. But we all leave a mark. Some marks are bigger than others, but some of the biggest marks were left by some of the smallest actions. How will you leave your mark? I mean, aside from the skid marks that weak old burrito left in your underwear. Now, what will be your legacy, my friend?
One thing I would like to comment on about the DLC voice pack is that I kind of wish it came with subtitles, because as you can probably see, I do have subtitles enabled, but because this was a DLC pack, well, I just guess they didn't really bother with it, which is kind of annoying because I'm not really sure what he says close to the end of that particular voice line. I really don't know. Anyway, there are 2 terminals in this area, and there are... one time capsule. There are 1 time capsule, yes. And as I said, this place does have some actually genuinely difficult puzzles. Like, some which will maybe leave you thinking for a little bit of a while, but let's not get into that right now, just yet.
When the scale of it all overwhelms me, this is what I tell myself. We can calculate the age of the Earth, the size of the universe, the future of the stars. Sure, we are minuscule, momentary flashes of thought on a grain of sand drifting through the cosmos. But our minds can recreate the past and predict the future. On, say, Friday, 1,000,000 years from now, we'll all be dead. But right now, we know what the night sky will look like on that day. And so, in a way, we're not entirely bound by time. Knowledge is a kind of freedom.
Very nice. Very nice. Talking about more stuff about death, and also transcendence, which is probably going to be talking about the conflicts, or so-called conflicts, of science and religion, and we're not going to get into that because that's not the kind of video I'm doing. The kind of video I'm doing is where we try to have fun. And we're gonna build a universe too. A universe that doesn't fall apart 2 days later. By Philip. Pretty good texts, I must say. Now, however, there are puzzles to do, and as I would like to reiterate, you guys, these ones can actually be really difficult. First of all, you have time crawls, and its sort of predecessor neighbor is very close by called time flies, but right now we're gonna focus on time crawls. And this one is actually pretty interesting, so I'm just gonna... This is actually kind of part of the steps which I have to take, if I recall correctly. I'm gonna show off what's over here. You see, there's a panel right here that's hiding the sigil, and we need to have a laser extend out here. This window is involved, in fact you kind of need to have a connector right here, but if you want to know how recorder, like the recorder tool works, this is where you get to know it the best, and it really perplexes me just how crazy this puzzle is. Coming back to it, I think I stood here for long enough that eventually Sam told me that I was a really stupid idiot and that I should probably go play a different puzzle in the meantime, and yeah, I really didn't want to bother looking up a walkthrough of this, but if I remember how it works correctly, that will be really helpful. Like, that, in the grand scheme of things, that will probably allow us to progress a little bit further. So we are going to start off by maybe just placing this around here-ish, and then probably just stand on the panel for a while, I want to reckon. I think that's gonna be my plan for today. So, just start recording, stand on the button for a little while, and maybe we'll just, you know, tell a bit of a story. What's a good story I can talk about? Oh yeah. There are foxes around my neighborhood, and the foxes have been chewing around with, shoes, yes. More specifically, those odd croc things, I don't really know. I think they were also, like, playing around with a tennis ball or something. But yeah, little tiny foxes living in people's sheds. and they're just doing their own thing, so we get to see them from time to time, and yeah, it's pretty entertaining stuff. You must confess that, seeing little foxes around is one of the national pastimes of living in the suburban territory. And I think that story has extended long enough because it's starting to get boring. So, we're gonna take the box now. We're gonna open the door like this. And this laser is merely a recording for the time being, so we're gonna connect it like so. Right over to this window, and boom, puzzle done. Even though that looks kind of easy, it might take you a little while on the first try. Believe me, it certainly did. So now we're gonna go visit its big brother, which is called Time Flies. And this one has a bit more of a literal meaning to it. So again, there's another recorder right here, and to show off what's actually behind this door, there really aren't as many steps, but we do need to bring this connector with us anyway. And there really aren't many buttons or pressure plates to be locked down anyways. There's also a ladder here in case you get stuck, so that's also pretty helpful. There are 2 steps to this puzzle, and they both involve the recorder, so you kind of have to start making a copy of yourself, and then you have to do one step, and then you have to stop the recording, then you have to start another recording, and I might screw it up. I'm just going to point out right now that I might possibly mess it up, because the way I kind of solved this was a little bit different, you might say. Just, there might be a chance of failure. So we're going to start off by placing the box like this, and the connector like this. We have to connect both of the source beam and the panel like so. Just leave it like that for the time being, and then start recording yourself. Then you want to place the connector right around here, so that way the laser does not intersect with the box, because it's going to be powering a fan, you see. And if the block intersects with, well, that thing, the connector, I know what it's called, well, that's going to cause some problems. So just make sure it's not aligning in the center with the fan. And I think I've actually stood here for much longer than enough time, so we're just gonna see if I actually did this properly. And just watch my little buddy from the past work things out in his little tiny brain. And boom, there you go, that's part of it. I'm gonna stop this prematurely. Right, so the first step of the puzzle, you should have something looking like this. Now, next step of the puzzle, we're gonna stand here for about 45 seconds, maybe. I don't know, just, I might have enough time to delve into a little bit of a story. I could talk about certain things that are going to be happening possibly in the near future. I guess the Road to Gehenna DLC for the Talos Principle is going to be coming out fairly soon, and I'm kind of in a bit of a rush to get the rest of this playthrough done before that DLC releases, because it's going to be a blind run. I think I already explained this in one of my previous videos already, but to clarify, it is going to be blind, and, well, I need to get this done as soon as possible, so that's why there hasn't been really much Team Fortress 2 stuff lately. And I think 40 seconds should probably be enough time. So right, while our buddy's gonna be sitting right there, we're gonna make a desperate attempt to grab this and make sure nothing falls out. Okay, good, it didn't. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab this and take it with us on an adventure, because the recording from the past should still have the laser up there like so. Do that, and you get the puzzle piece, and you also get a little QR code which you can read. Now, I do actually have to reset that sometime in the future, but first of all, I'm going to go ahead and collect the star of this particular puzzle. You just need to walk on that side of the wall, and that's it. Another thing you could do, technically, is jump out here, like so, and just climb the wall from there. And you are also on the edge of the map, also. You are also, yes. The reason I'm actually going out of bounds for a little minute is because I believe there is a QR code stashed away somewhere along one of these walls. I didn't actually go look here in my test playthrough, but I vaguely recall it being here. Yeah, here it is. It's a termination of some guy. Actually, 2 guys, really, so, you know, it's quite rare you see a grave marker for 2 different robots, but it's there if you want to read it. So, I think, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just reset the first step right now. Part of what I'm doing right now is just preparation for collecting a star. And I'm just gonna do it like this because it's just easier to manage later on for the final puzzle, which has the final star. So I hope you'll forgive me on this, but I'm just gonna be repeating step 1, so I'll probably just see you when I get back with everything just set up once again.